Hello all, welcome back. This is part 3 of this discussion of verses that relate the Christian church as being the bride and of Jesus as being our bridegroom. Please watch parts 1 and 2 first. So at the end of part 2 I was reading Ephesians chapter 2 verses 22 through 20. Ephesians chapter 2 verses 22 through 33, and there's verse 30 I wanted to read again because I found the verse I was looking for, but I ran out of time, so I could read it in part 2. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 29. Well, actually verse 30 and verse 31. So Ephesians chapter 5 verse 30. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. And that reminded me of Genesis chapter 2 verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. And then also verse 31. For this cause, this is Ephesians chapter 5 verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 24, the writer writes, and they believe the writer is Moses. They believe that Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And then another verse in the New Testament that reminded me of that, Ephesians chapter 5 verse 31, is Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother, and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So that reminded me when it says hate his father and his mother, it kind of reminded me of, like, leaving your father and your mother and cleaving into your husband. And then, and then verse 32 says, this is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. So I just want to read those 2 verses, those 3 verses to you all. Actually, those 5 verses to you. Okay, now I want to take you to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 2. It says, and this is from the second letter that Apostle Paul wrote unto the church in Corinth. That's why it's called 2 Corinthians, because it was the second letter that was written to the church in Corinth. This is chapter 11, verse 2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you. Remember, I said I think I said in video 1 that when they say espoused, it's like the word betrothed or the word engaged. So when they say espoused, it kind of means engaged. Let me look that up real quick and make sure I'm not misusing the word betrothed. Because betrothed could just mean, okay, yeah. So betrothed isn't espoused, it's like an engagement. So formal state of engagement, to be married. And they say, historically, the betrothal was a formal contract. So it was more serious. Our engagement nowadays, it can just be between you and your husband. You and your fiance, he give you a ring. Back then, it was more serious. The more serious type of engagement. It was very formal, and it was pretty much assuring you that you were getting married to this woman or this man. So, like I was saying, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. So Apostle Paul is telling the church in Corinth that he's like, I have espoused you to one husband. I picked one man out for you. You need to be faithful. We know the wives are supposed to be faithful to their husbands. And he said, I want to present you as a chaste virgin, as a pure virgin to Christ. So we know that one husband is talking about Christ. So, that's why I think it's important that we live holy lifestyles. We are the bride of Christ. I read you another verse that will let you know that he is our bridegroom. John 3 verses 28 and 29 say, ye yourselves bear me witness. Now this is John talking. Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said I am not the Christ, but that I am sent before him. So he's a forerunner because he was sent before, to prepare the way of the Lord. He was sent to, let everyone know Jesus is coming, the bridegroom is coming, the bridegroom is coming. And that reminds me of Matthew 25 verse 6 when it says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. So it reminds me of what John did. He prepared the way of the Lord. So John 3:28. Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said I am not the Christ, but that I am sent before him. Verse 29. He that hath the bride is the bridegroom. The bridegroom has a bride. But the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. So John is excited because he knows Jesus is coming. He hears his voice, rejoices greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. His joy therefore is fulfilled. He said, I'm not the groom. I'm not the groom you're looking for. I'm not the Christ, but I am sent before him. I'm preparing the way of the Lord. He that hath the bride is a bridegroom. I don't have the bride. The bridegroom, Jesus, has a bride. But the friend of the bridegroom, I guess what we might call the best man, the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. So we know for sure that Jesus is our bridegroom and that we are to be his chaste bride. And I want to read unto you all Revelation 19, 7 through 9. So you all can know for sure that the church is going to be taken up to the wedding supper of the Lamb. And we should be ready. That's why you have to live ready. Like I said, it's a prepared place for prepared people. Revelation 19, 7 through 9. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come. What we also call the wedding supper of the Lamb. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. If you're ready, you prepared. You got yourself prepared. And if you ever seen a wedding, the brides get prepared. They're the ones getting the most prepared over anyone else. They're getting their nails done, their hair done, their dresses. Some of them are trying to lose weight. Some of them, waxing, all those kind of things. When there's a wedding going on, the bride maketh herself ready. So he says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. Just like how we wear clean white wedding dresses. Fine fabric, not linen, but fine fabric. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. So we know the bride is righteous. She was given righteousness to put on. Verse 9, and he saith unto me, write. So John, the revelator who wrote Revelation, John, they said unto him, write. Blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. If you're getting in, if you're prepared, you are blessed to be called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. He said unto me, these are the true sayings of God. These are the true sayings of God. This is what God is saying. These are the true sayings. You can believe that it's going to happen because God said it. Okay, now Revelation chapter 21. And this is when I guess the real deal happens. Revelation chapter 21 verse 1. That's the second to last chapter in the whole Bible. And I saw a new heaven, this is verse 1, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, where the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. It's descending from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. Another parallel. Prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. Verse 9, and there came unto me one of the seven angels which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, come hither, I will shew thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. I will show you the bride. And he carried me away in the spirit so it wasn't in his physical body, it was in the spirit, to a great and high mountain, and shewed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God. So it will be descending from God out of heaven. Verse 11, having the glory of God, and her light. We hear her. So it's referred to as a her, and her light was shining. And her light was like unto a stone most precious, even as a jasper stone, clear as crystal. We know brides that like to wear jewelry on their wedding day. So when Matthew 24 verse 36 says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. We now know that. That means because in the Jewish custom in the Bible days, only the bridegroom's father would pick the day out that the groom would come back and get his fiance. So they had the betrothal period that said usually about 12 months, and he would go and prepare a place for her, and then the bridegroom's father would pick out the day that he was ready to go get his bride. God is picking out the day for Jesus to come get us. Remember, heaven is a prepared place for prepared people. Get ready. Thank you.